The new mayor for the Roseau City Council, led by Her Worship Mayor Irene John, has been sworn in. Dominica's Education Minister affirms government support for technical vocational education and training, and Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt says bilateral relations between Dominica and China are reaping notable achievements. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine.
And I'm Jarna. Hector. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after the break.
If you can believe this.
Come by my house and let me show you some movies.
Why can't you believe this? Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
Welcome back. Amidst cheers, the new Roseau City Council, led by new mayor Her Worship Irene John, was inaugurated at the Arawak House of Culture on Friday. The 13 councillors, 5 nominated and 8 elected, took their vows in somber tones, vowing to serve with purpose on the Roseau City Council. Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, among numerous other speakers, had words of congratulations and support for the new mayor. The Prime Minister spoke of building on the remarkable achievements of the previous council, led by then Mayor Cecil Joseph.
Let me, first of all, extend, on behalf of the government of Dominica, our thanks to the outgoing mayor, former Mayor Mr. Cecil Joseph, and his past councillors for the service which they have rendered to the residents of the city of Roseau. One can chronicle a number of achievements which, under the leadership of Mr. Joseph, the city was able to recognize. But one of the very important areas of focus of the mayor, former Mayor Joseph, was that of education. Not only at the primary level and the secondary level by the provision of scholarships, but the mayor was able to establish a very strong and fruitful relationship with Monroe College, where a number of Dominicans were able to benefit from full scholarships and also partial scholarships to attend that university. But also very importantly was that he had been able to establish very strong links with many cities and countries, but more particularly the departments of Martinique and Guadeloupe. I believe the mayor is the second most popular Dominican in Martinique after Jeff Joseph. So I would like to say respectfully to the new mayor that you would want Mr. Joseph to pass on those very important links and connections in the furtherance of the city.
To the incoming mayor, the nation's leader shared sentiments related to decisive leadership.
You are coming and working in a group of people with all sorts of different ideas, different personalities, different thinking, different approaches. But at the end of the day, you as the leader must ensure that you provide the leadership and guidance for the whole of the council and of course the city of Roseau. Leadership is not easy. Because at the end of the day, the buck stops with you. And when things are going okay, it is everybody else. When things go bad, it is the leader. So you have to understand that. But I have no doubt, knowing you personally, you have what it takes to lead the city into newer heights and higher heights.
Outgoing Mayor Cecil Joseph, who referred to the new council leader as a hard-working woman, spoke metaphorically of bringing light into dark places.
I encourage my following counterparts, Irene John, to please carry on and further better the environment in which we live. Not only are we as leaders supposed to carry the torch, but as said by the great Nelson Mandela, I entrench you to carry the torch with a light. Blaze that light to the uttermost, and make sure that even the darkest rat-filled holes burn with the same light and desire as you do.
To the new council, Honourable Ambrose George, parliamentary representative for Roseau South, emphasised that partnerships should be formed with stakeholders of the city and available resources utilised. The parliamentary representative for Roseau Central, Honourable Norris Prevost, pledged his support as well as that of the United Workers' Party to Mayor John. He stated further that Her Worship joins those other phenomenal female leaders who have left their mark on the island. Minister for Community Development and Gender Affairs, Honourable Gloria Shillingford, shared a similar sentiment.
Let me say how delighted I am to welcome into the leadership of the Roseau City Council a woman in the person of Mrs. Irene John. As a woman in public life, I am always pleased and encouraged when I see other women taking up the mantle of leadership in community or national organizations. It brings a sense of satisfaction and pride to see that women are taking up positions which will empower them to assist in decision-making and other areas of national development. So, Mrs. John, I congratulate you on your new position as mayor, and I congratulate you doubly for being a woman in that position.
Her Worship Irene John delivered an address centered on giving thanks from government to her prayer group. She got right into the agenda of the new team.
I would not like to start my term of office as mayor by making promises, but I need to indicate the areas which will be given the greatest priority and as a matter of urgency. The new council will give priority to the following: the dilapidated properties that are a source of eyesores and health hazards to the residents of Roseau, the sidewalks that need to be rehabilitated to allow residents to walk through the city in comfort, the need to address the continuing problem of vagrants who need care and attention. This problem, of course, is a challenge to the development of the tourism sector and the perennial problem of delinquent taxpayers, which causes a strain on the finances of the City Council.
GIS News will bring you more from that event in a subsequent newscast.
In other news, the promised Lapland police station is on track for completion by August 2014. GIS News visited the site with the area's parliamentary representative, where the foundation is being laid for two structures, the inspector's quarters and the station. This massive undertaking will cost $3.2 million. Contractor on the project, Kelvin Henderson of AK Henderson Limited, gave a preview into what the completed structure will look like come August 2014.
We're actually building two buildings. One which will house the inspector, which will be at the far end, which is up on the east. And the next building will be the police station, which will also house the magistrate court. The top section is living quarters and office, and downstairs the cell holding and various things that the police will need.
On the construction site, employee on the project, Michael Girodel, along with 2 others, were busy marking, bending, and cutting steel. This activity is known for saving material and finances in projects like these. Michael says while there is a lot of work ahead for the project's duration, progress is steady.
Because we've got all the beams, all the mats, all the columns, the door wheels. The starter bat is the doors anyway. Yeah, so we're a good distance away from the, completing. Well, we do it by stages, right? What we are doing there right presently, when we are through with this, they got to cast it and then come up with the blocks, and then we come back and put some more beams over it, and then they cast the flooring, and then they come up with some more steel again. So we're a good distance from completing the steel work.
Contractor Henderson says while there were minor delays due to design revision, the project is set to wrap on time.
We are in the foundation stage. We have just finished excavation. We blind the foundation, which is to prevent steel from being contaminated with soil. We did that 2 days ago, and then we are going to put the reinforcement. Hopefully, we want to at least be 40% or almost 60% complete with the foundation by the end of the year.
Honorable Seja looks forward to the completion of this major upgrade to the area. He says it is an initiative which will mean a lot for the people of the constituency.
The police station is an absolute necessity in any community. The safety, security of individuals within any given community is paramount. And although Lapland and the environs is a relatively quiet, safe community, we cannot underscore underwrite the importance of police presence in the area. And for us in Lapland, the southeast, Monjon, Rivière, Syriac, Boitica, since it serves, and Grand Fond, these communities, it is an imperative for us. Not only that, but even when you think of the school children, it is very important that we have the police presence in the area as far as the management and the flow of traffic during the lunch and the early morning hours is concerned. So it's a very important project for us.
In other news, bilateral relations between Dominica and the People's Republic of China have resulted in major benefits for Dominica. That's according to Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. The Prime Minister, in reflecting on the past 9 years since the establishment of diplomatic relations between the both countries, said there has been notable achievements of which Dominica is proud. The country's leader referred to some of those achievements during a reception to bid farewell to Chinese Ambassador, His Excellency Wang Zonglai, last Thursday. The Prime Minister outlined areas of achievement realized during his tenure.
Of course, we have with us the State College, the State House. We have the construction of the apartments in Bath Estate and Emsall, 60 of them. We had the signing of and the groundbreaking ceremony for the Newtown Primary School, the construction of Newtown Primary School. We had the commencement and the completion of the West Coast Road. We have seen the resurgence and of course the expansion of the presence of the Chinese Agricultural Technical Mission, with the approving of, I believe, a 5-phase development plan that will take place in the north of Dominica at 1 mile. We have also seen the signing of several agreements, several technical cooperation agreements. We've also seen an increase in number of students studying in China. And we have seen the greatest number of Dominicans visiting China for various training seminars.
Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit said during Ambassador Zonglai's tenure, Dominica was able to deepen its relationship with China. He thanked the ambassador for the many times he advocated on Dominica's behalf to solicit assistance for the country.
After the storm which affected the western coast of Dominica, His Excellency was very forthcoming with his willingness to advocate on our behalf in getting assistance. As a matter of fact, the government of China has committed to providing new homes to everyone who was affected, every home that was affected as a result of Ophelia a couple years ago. And also the construction of a new bridge in Layu Park area. that was affected also. And all of this were as a result of the advocacy and the manifestations made by His Excellency Wang Zhonglai on behalf of the government and people of Dominica.
Meanwhile, outgoing Chinese ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Wang Zhonglai, said his country is willing to work with Dominica to make even greater achievements in bilateral cooperation. China-Dominica relations are of great significance to both sides, Zhonglai said. He said China stands ready to further collaborate with Dominica to push forward their relations towards greater achievements, realize common development, and bring about more benefits to the two peoples.
In more news, outgoing chairperson of CANTOR, the Caribbean Association of National Training Agencies, Elfige Joseph, recently outlined features that create a suitable environment for technical vocational education and training, or TVET. Joseph was making her final address as chair of CANTOR when the association and the CARICOM Education for Employment held its first meeting in Dominica late last week. Both organizations aim for regional integration in education, especially in skills training and certification. Those features, as listed by Elfige Joseph, include the use of technology, partnerships with industries, and apprenticeship programs. High on Joseph's list was government support for TVET. The island's education minister also addressed the event, highlighting government's approach to TVET.
Most recently, we have invested more than 11.3 million East Caribbean dollars in the Dominica Education Enhancement Project, DEEP, with over 50% directed towards the advancement of the TVET program. These resources have been directed at the funding of a massive influx of industrial-type equipment and supplies for the program into schools, and the further training of TVET teachers in various disciplines. This training includes not only the acquisition of content and instructional strategies, but also competence at assessment and verification using the CBET approach.
The outgoing CANTOR chair reflected on the earlier days of TVET when the idea was considered inferior to academics-based education. She says now the entire region has agreed that technical vocational education and training can be used as a vehicle for economic development and regional integration.
Here we are now, where we have revisited the regional TVET strategy. We have held national and regional consultations. We have spoken to students, we have spoken to instructors, we have spoken to industry. We have revisited our strategy, and now we have aligned TVET as we ought to have from the inception as a regional TVET strategy for workforce development and economic competitiveness. We have achieved a lot since then.
She applauded Dominica's enthusiasm for the concept. Also at that event, Honorable Peter Seja revealed that the formation of the National TVET Council is a precursor to a national training agency currently being considered. Honorable Seja says the development of TVET is a means of helping individuals to think globally.
8 more graduates started work on Monday at the Aid Bank, bringing the numbers to 55 for government's internship series under the National Employment Program. GIS News witnessed the interns' first day at various departments at the bank.
Today we've got about eight young people coming in here. They come to us with diverse background in economics and finance, accounting, and computer science. And this is good for us because the bank is right now in its the end of its year of 5-year strategic planning, and next year we'll be doing that, and hopefully that we will be able to absorb some of these young people. They will be working in the area of the credit department, the audit department, management information system, and of course recoveries.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Employment, Trade and Industry, Karen Prevost, says there is more to follow.
We've been having a lot of activity on the National Employment Program. We will continue placements throughout the month and in January as well. So you can look forward to a little bit more of this, where you can see some of our graduates who are actually at work as part of these programs.
Ayodele Roach, one of the interns attached to the bank, looks forward to putting her skills to work.
It feels great because being a recent graduate, you come back home and the stress of not having a job right away kind of weighs on you. But because of the program, the government has given us the opportunity to gain experience in our fields of study, and I'm very happy to have gotten that opportunity. I studied management information systems, and with the bank, I'll be using it to help with systems audits and other various audits.
The internship program is one of the 5 facets of government's National Employment Program aimed at making young people more employable and productive.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is up next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non moins, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, ministre de formation qui a complémenté compagnie Lime pour contribution à yo qui concerne équipement que GIS et DBS tapé, fait travail de dissémination information plus effectivement. Parole celle-là sortie du ministre Telecoms, Honorable Ambrose George.
Nous les points au moment pour dire Lime merci pour cadeau ça. C'est un cadeau qui est bien important avec nous qu'à recogniser travail là Lime Café Dominique pour One Service à télécommunication avec pour One Service pour organisation locale même si c'est gouvernement secteur privé plusieurs places à pays qui a tapé service hotline à de manière ça. So nous a dit en go merci pour Lime. Nous avons one qui Lime continue bas à Dominicien avec pays wrong pays service.
À la nouvelle, gouvernement Dominique va envoyer assistance au Canada pour augmenter service registry en réseau. Parole celle-là qui a sorti au registrar M. Ozzy Walsh.
Actuellement, nous avons un projet. C'est un projet qui le gouvernement tape l'argent. Le gouvernement n'est pas payer en compagnie Canada, il y a une compagnie ça, Canadian Banknote, CBN. 1.8 million US dollars. Mais ça dit ça créole, mais 1.8 million US. L'argent ça, c'est pour aider nous à civil registry pour gagner new computers, ces computers là là, new scanners, bagay pour print certificate neuf. So les moun vini tale, parlons encore pour birth certificate, death certificate, certificate mariage, certificate moun qui adopté Dominique, yo ke taper electronically via computer. Nous pas qu'une pour ni ces moun là ni ka travail là, c'est travail là pour écrit birth certificate. So là où regarder ça, moun ni pour aller à sous livre, yo ni pour aller à sous livre, yo ni pour écrire ça, il can prendre temps. Yo ni pour aller à sous computer, garder non moun, yo ni pour aller à sous grand livre là, il can quever yo le grand livre. Yo ni pour ouvrir, yo ni pour garder pour non, yo ni pour écrire ça, il can prendre temps. Talent, ça finit. Ça finit talent. So nous connait un birth certificate neuf, tout bagay qui est neuf là, tout bagay qui est bon. Avec nous connait toutes ces certificates nous connait yo nous connait computer qui ani once you enter information à computer qui ba nous certificates neuf avec tout bagay qui printed. Ça ka vini.
Gouvernement Dominique tient une grande réception en l'honneur ambassadeur People's Republic of China, His Excellency Wang Zonglai, qui travaille li ka fini au bout en Dominique. Ambassadeur Zonglai qui commence à travailler en l'année 2010, travail pour dernier 3 l'année là qui passait. C'est le Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Scared. Ambassadeur Zonglai travail ici bien bon et puis il c'était un bon ami Dominique. Honorable Scared aussi servi occasion là pour reconfirmer position Dominique One China Policy. Ambassadeur Zonglai fait parole que Dominique est toujours en chai qu'on a une bonne expérience. Mas l'année qui vient, Dominique et puis People's Republic of China qui célèbre 10 l'année relations diplomatiques et puis c'est deux pays-là qui célèbrent en grande manière. Finalement, le département quarantine qui a créé à ce public-là pour taper un permis avant de mener produit ou entrer spécialement saisonnier. Parole celle-là sorti de l'officier quarantine, M. Ryan Ansem.
Saisonnier, moun ka mene on patche bitin à Dominique, yo ka mene turkey yo ka mene ham yo ka mene pli fruit, grapes avec apple, avec toute qualité bitin pour enjoy Christmas yo. Mais ça les moun nous les moun pon attention, nous les moun là ni règle là pour mener bitin à Dominique, nous parler de moun mener bagay là sans on permis. So ça nous ka des moun saison ça là c'est une saison qui bon et nous les enjoy saison là mais nous ni on travail pour faire et travail là c'est protéger industrie agriculture en Dominique et nous les moun oui ou ça mène bagay là nous pas ka ou pas ça mène mais venir parler avec nous ke ba mesure comment on ça mène à Dominique et nous ka de pour taper un premier pour mener bête bagay kon viande, bagay kon grapes avec apple. So, venir division agriculture avec ou ça fait une application pour un import permit. Nous parler about so en les poa, sous mener sans ça, nous ke pon bitin là avec nous ke boulé. So nous ka de moun loi pays a ka de on pour ni permis pour mener bagay là.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle créole pour à présent. Non moi c'est McPherson Luce. Ni bon saison Noël.
Are you getting enough sleep? Find out next in the tip of the day.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans, and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Many of us try to sleep as much as possible, although sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. There are so many things that seem more interesting or more important than getting a few more hours of sleep. But just as exercise and nutrition are essential for optimal health and happiness, so is sleep.
While sleep requirements vary slightly from person to person, most healthy adults need between 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep per night to function at their best. Children and teens need even more, and despite the notion that our sleep needs decrease with age, older people still need at least 7.5 to 8 hours of sleep.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm.
Friend us on our Facebook page and be sure to like our GIS Dominica fan page. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Fontaine. Thank you for watching.